Hi, it's Cheryl. Welcome to Homebridge Studio. Today I am sharing 15 of my all-time favorite spring and or Easter crafts with you. So let's waste no time and get this party started. Enjoy! DIY number one, we're going to be making a topiary. So first, the egg comes from the Dollar Tree. I did not use those beads, but you can. I'll show you later on how we use them. These are Delilah's. I used 4.5 bunches, and they're from the Dollar Tree. Some Mod Podge, some plaster chalk paint. The vase is from the Dollar Tree, and so is this ball. So first I'm going to, that is from Timo, I just wanted to tell you, and so is that mold. So I'm showing you the pieces that I ordered, that I bought, and how to use them. So that lid remover works really well, and it was, let's see, $1.18. And the mold, the butterfly mold, was $1.08. So first I'm going to put a generous amount of Mod Podge on the ball and on that plastic vase. And while those are drying, I am putting hot glue in the mold here to make a butterfly. And the reason that I put the Mod Podge on the ball in the vase is because we're going to put chalk paint on it, and I want the chalk paint to adhere to it. So while those are still drying, I clipped off all of my flowers, and the stem there, the wire part, is about, I want to say, 1/2 inch wide. We don't want it too long and we don't want it too short, because we're going to poke those into the ball. So this butterfly here, I'm just going to trim it out. It's dry and it worked out perfectly. Just have to trim a little bit of the sides off. And now I'm going to put just 1 coat of the chalk paint on the ball and 2 on that vase. I didn't like how the vase turned out, so I'm distressing it with the mineral chalk paint. And this gives it more of a stone look. And so I do more on the top, more on the bottom, and on the corners and the sides, and less in the middle. This is white felt from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to glue some on the bottom of this so it doesn't scratch your countertop. And then I'm just trimming it off. And these scissors, not the purple ones, but these pink ones here, are from the Dollar Tree. I love them. They work really, really well for getting in little teeny nooks and crannies. Okay, so put that aside and just pop all of your flowers right into the ball. They poke in really easy. I did not hot glue them in. I didn't need to. You can if you want. So make sure that when you're poking your flowers in here that you leave a little space on top and a little space on the bottom where there are no flowers, because we're going to be hot gluing it on top of that. And I have to put in a couple more, but we will do that in a minute. So a generous amount of hot glue, and just press that on there. And here's that egg from the Dollar Tree. They have different colors. I chose the pink one because pink is one of my favorite colors. And I glued it on the top, and this little butterfly I'm painting in the plaster chalk paint. And now that is just Deco Art Brown, Burnt Umber it's called. I have a tiny brush, and I'm going to paint the body of the butterfly and then outline the wings of the butterfly to give it a little bit more definition. And this mat is also from Temu, and look how well it cleans up. You just get a cloth, a damp cloth, and everything wipes up off of this, including hot glue, paint, you name it. So you can put those, and those are from the Dollar Tree, the garland around the bottom. I have this hat that I used on a project that you'll see coming up in a couple, like 3 more projects from now on this video. You could use that as lace around the bottom. You could cover it with material or tissue paper, or keep the paint. Those are just different options that I'm giving you. This is pink lace, and this the whole pack was from Temu. It was $11, I think. Well worth it. Some beautiful, beautiful lace, and there's a lot of it. This looks like the lace from the Dollar Tree, and you could use that, But this actually, and you can't see, has like some gold in there, so it just really makes this piece pop. So I'm just gluing it around there one time. And those little finger protectors are from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm just clipping this off, and I hot glued the butterfly on the top of that egg, and we are done. And this is what it looks like sitting on my table. And the bunnies there are from Target Dollar Spot. The roses and the eggs are from the Dollar Tree. Okay, DIY number 2. We are going to take one of these Dollar Tree tins and make a wall hanging. So you'll need a tin, and let me tell you, I had a hard time getting that very large sticker off the front, and Goo Gone and water and my blow dryer and everything else, and it kind of scratched it up. So we're going to have to cover it with this, is what I chose. This is from Walmart. It is burlap with some, I don't know what kind of white, like looks like puffy paint on it, but I love it. You can use anything you want. These bunnies are from Hobby Lobby, $4.99 at 40% off. These are from Hobby Lobby, $6.99 at 40% off. I just love the color of those flowers. They're gorgeous. And then most of this is from the Dollar Tree, because I'm going to use like a blue turquoise off-white kind of decor pattern on this tin. I just pulled all my ribbon out that has the same color. I hope that makes sense. That is from Temu also, and that's fringe. Those I don't use, but you can use pit berries. I do use them a lot. Any flowers, florals of your choice. We're going to use some moss. I have a mixture of the Spanish moss and the green moss. These eggs are from the Dollar Tree, the styrofoam eggs. The beads are from the Dollar Tree. And this is white felt from the Dollar Tree. I get most of my stuff from the Dollar Tree. Mod Podge, Waverly white chalk paint. This is Decor Burnt Umber, and the blue one is Apple Barrel Aqua Sky. So first, it's always good if you know you're going to paint ahead of time, go ahead and paint so everything dries while you're putting everything else together that doesn't need to be painted. So I'm going to put a coat of Mod Podge on 3 of these styrofoam eggs, and I'm going to let them dry. And that's so the paint adheres to them. Now I'm just kind of tracing around the bottom because I'm going to cover up all the scratches and everything, which actually turned out to be good because I think that tin just is too bright. As you can see, when sun shines on it or light shines on it, it is very bright. So I just went on the outside or on the edge and hot glued it, because if you put hot glue in the middle, you'll be able to see it right through the what do you call it, the burlap. And again, this fringe is very, very nice, from Temu, and I'm just hot gluing it right up on the top there. So go ahead and put tissue paper in the bottom of this because we don't want to stuff it all with moss because it's a waste of material. And I'm going to put that bunny in there kind of like he's peeking out. And I thought I was going to be able to cut it with my wire cutters. And as you can see, I am fighting with that little sucker. And that was like, I don't know, very thick metal. So I pulled that out and I just took a dowel rod and that I had in my stash, and I'm just going to hot glue the bunny up against the tin. And as you probably already know, do not touch the tin when you put hot glue on it because it is extremely hot. So I'm just holding him in place until that glue dries a little bit. And then I'm going to put a little bit more tissue paper in there. I just put it up on top so I don't use all of my moss again. And that little bow came off the bunny. And I'm just going to hot glue it back onto him. And I just drew like two little egg shapes, or one little egg shape, and then folded the felt over to make little paws, because he's going to be like peeking up with his paws hanging out. So it's like a reverse of the bunny butt. And this is a black Sharpie, and I'm just making little, like, the little nails on the bunny. And I thought it was plain, so I took this ribbon, and I'm just gonna outline the top of it, just to give it some more character, more interest. So now the eggs are dry, and we're going to paint them with this Apple Barrel Aqua Sky blue color. And I believe I put 2 coats on that. Now I'm showing you, you can use for texture this little, I don't know what you call them. They're like little, I can't think of it right now, but you know what I mean. They sell them at the Dollar Tree. And you could even put pepper, or you could put baking soda in that and give it more texture, but I just painted it on because I'm gonna flick some brown on it. You'll see it in a minute. And then I'm just popping this moss in here. Like I said, I have the Spanish moss and I have the green moss. I live in Michigan. That's what our grass looks like right now, and actually it's still not as green as this moss. It's hard coming off the dead of winter in Michigan because there's no leaves on the trees or anything, but we all look forward to April showers that bring May flowers. So now that we have all of the moss in there, I'm just going to take these little flowers, also from the Dollar Tree. I'm sorry, I don't know what they're called. And I'm just going to place them and then hot glue them. So place them where you want them. If you like it, then make it permanent. So now I'm going to show you how to speckle these eggs. So the brown umber I put on my brush. I got my brush wet, not super wet because you don't want to make big blotches, but somewhat wet. And then you just tap something against the brush. I just have another brush. And I just turned them around and did the same thing on the other side. And let them dry. And now place them in where you like them. And when you like where they're at, then go ahead and make them permanent. And these flowers are just so pretty. I just didn't know which one to use. They're just like such a blue turquoisey color, but all these blues, somehow they're all different color blues. They go together really well. And it probably is because I put the burlap beigey creamy colors with it. And so I'm cutting the bigger ribbon. I'm just taking whatever ribbon I have in my stash. I'm cutting it, the thicker ribbon, longer. And I'm going to dovetail the ends of all the thicker ribbon. And then 2 pieces of each kind of the thinner ribbon. And then you can dovetail it one way, or you can clip it the other way so it turns into a point. So I did dovetail 2 and I made 1 into a point just to give it a little bit more interest. And then this is called a messy bow, as you guys probably know. And I just put it together however and tied it in the middle with the jute twine, also from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to hot glue that on, and some of them fell out, some of the pieces of the ribbon, so I'm hot gluing some more of those on in the middle. And for the flower, I love that flower, I think it's just gorgeous. And that's it. And this is what it looks like, a carrot bunny jar. You'll see in a minute what I'm doing here. But here's the things that you will need: a bunny rabbit, and some washi tape, and some embellishments, a little fuzz ball for the tail. I have this gold pen, not chalk pen, but the gold pen from the Dollar Tree, Waverly white and ink, and Waverly pumpkin chalk paints. Also, I have that mason jar right there. And most of the stuff is from the Dollar Tree. Oh, and the little carrots, the wooden carrots. So I tried to pull the paper off. I pulled everything off of this and tried to sand it because I wanted to paint it, or I wanted to put paper on it, but I think it would be too lumpy. So I gave it about 3 coats of white paint, the whole entire thing. And now I have these little carrots, and I'm taking this washi tape. It's the really thin washi tape. And I'm going to tape the carrots off because I'm going to make some squares. And you'll see what I'm doing in a second here. So I put 3 down and I pull the middle one up, and then put 3 down and pull the middle one up. So as you can see, I turned it around, and I'm going to do it on the other side. And now I'm going to paint that with pumpkin, 3 of them, and 2 of them with the ink chalk paint. And while those are drying, I'm going to paint this little bunny rabbit, the sides, the back, and the front, the whole thing in the Waverly white. And now I pulled off all of the washi tape, and now I have this gold pen, and I'm coloring it in. I thought it looked too much like Halloween, the black and the white, so I wanted to add it in some gold, but my pen, I guess, I traced too much with it, and it's a darker gold now, so I kind of really didn't like that. But anyway, I painted the tops green, and it's just apple barrel Kelly green that I used, and I put the washi tape on the bunny's ears, and I painted little squares on his ears too. And now I'm taking this apple barrel limeade, and I'm just streaking the top of the carrots with it just a little bit to give it some dimension. So going back to the gold marker, I probably would not color that in at all. I did another one, another carrot, as you can see there has the washi tape on it still, and I left it like the natural color, and I like it much more. And I put the silver piece on top there, and when you put hot glue on that, be careful, don't touch it. The metal gets extremely hot. I have burnt my hand on that before. And I put the twine back on, and now I'm placing the carrots, the ones that I painted, exactly the way I want them, and I'm just hot gluing them on, kind of like there's a bunch of carrots in a mason jar. And I'm taking this little bunny, and I'm going to glue him on top. And I have that little cube. Those are from the Dollar Tree, the wood cubes. And I glued that on the back to give him some stability. And now I'm going to put a little carrot in his hand. It's almost like he dipped his paw into the mason jar, pulled out a carrot, and he's sitting on top of it so nobody else gets any carrots. Now, I don't know. I just came up with that. So I'm just distressing it with the Waverly ink, and I outlined that rabbit in the gold pen. I probably should have outlined him in the black too. I don't think the gold's really working in this situation, but it turned out fine. And now I took some jute and I made a little teeny bow to hide that little hole in the top of his ear, and I put one of those little pom-poms on for his tail, and that's it. There you have it. And we are going to make a bunny basket. Now I don't have miter shears and I don't have a miter box. So this is, if you don't have one of those, either one of those, this is how you're going to put it together. So you're going to need 2 of those wooden bunnies and some ribbon embellishments, any kind that you want, 4 painter's sticks. This wood piece is from the Dollar Tree. And this is Waverly Plaster chalk paint. And now this is kind of splintery, so I gave it a really good sanding and took that sticker off. I painted all of these white. I gave them 2 really good coats, and I think those bunnies probably got 3 because it was hard to cover up the black. And now I'm taking the painter sticks and I'm going to glue them together. Now, if you want this to be permanent, you might want to use wood glue or E6000 or super glue. And now I did that to both sides and I glued it on the bottom of that wood piece. And now I'm gluing these bunnies just on the end. They just barely touch. And there are bigger bunnies. There's smaller ones, but this is the medium one, and it came in the little kids kit. And now I'm taking these Jenga blocks and I'm going to hot glue them, not that way, this way, right on the edge to give it some support so it doesn't fall apart. And I did that on all 4 corners. And now I took 4 of these styrofoam blocks and I glued them right down there in the middle of the box. And I took some flowers. I am using purple flowers. You can use whatever color you like. I thought that this would probably be really pretty if you made the box maybe like a washed gray and used white flowers. That would be like really beautiful, or pink too. And I'm just showing you the names of the flowers that I'm using here, and they are all from the Dollar Tree except those white ones are from Ashland. That's Michael's, yeah. And I've been using those for a long time, so I got a big bunch for a couple bucks from Michael's. Anyway, take the, if you want greens, push the greens up, and then just go ahead and don't cut these with your scissors like I always say, because I ruin my scissors. And just go ahead and cut them with the wire clippers. And I put the dark flowers in at the bottom first, and now I have the taller, wispier ones I'm putting up a little bit more. And then these wild flowers I'm putting in there. So you don't want them all in the same row, in the same, pointing in the same direction. Put one way, another, maybe one up, one down, one leaning to the side. Just have fun with it. If you don't like it, you can always pull them out and redo them. And I still think it's too purple, so I'm going to add in some white ones, these white ones from Michael's. Well, actually they're really not white, they're kind of a yellow white. They look more yellow on camera. And see that little area that you can see in there? I just stuff a little bit of moss in there. Green moss, Spanish moss, whatever kind of moss you want. If there's any holes, you can add more flowers, in on top if you're looking on top, or you can put moss in there also. And I put a little flower on the bunny's ear and a little stem of, I think this is lamb's ear. Did that to both sides. And there you have it. Now, like I said, if you have a miter box or miter shears or, a saw, you could actually use the bigger bunnies and you could make it larger, and that would be really nice. And this is what it looks like. And these two grassy bunnies are from the Target Dollar Spot. This is what it looks like on the side. And I'm going to make a gnome out of this carrot from the Dollar Tree. And some things that we may use or may not use are some burlap, which I don't think I use that on this. Oh, I do, I'm sorry. The plastic shoes from the Dollar Tree, a sign. I don't use that marker, I use a different marker. Some white felt, some polyfill, which I don't use the polyfill actually. A big bead for the nose and two small beads for the hands. A crate, some carrots, this trim, and some Spanish moss, and also this ribbon. Almost everything is from the Dollar Tree. So we're going to remove the entire top of this carrot. The top of this carrot is actually going to be the bottom of the gnome. And this was kind of difficult to cut off, but I did. I cut each individual piece off. It took a little bit of time. And you can see I tried to pull it out and I couldn't get it out. But yeah, it just wouldn't work. So, yep, cut each one of them. So because there was a hole, I cut a circle out of the felt and I just hot glued it right there on that carrot. So I pointed at the seam, and the seam goes in the back. And now I'm putting these together. I want to make sure that the bottom is even. The top, it doesn't matter, we can cut it, but the bottom should be even, and it should go right to the bottom of the gnome, which is actually the top of the carrot. So I put all of these on there. I overlapped some of them, and I kind of made it like a little point in the middle, as you can see, like an upside, like a triangle in the middle. And that's where his nose is going to go. And I put the rubber band around there just to hold that so the hot glue dries. Now I'm making the arms for the gnome, and I'm just rolling this felt up really tight. And when you get it to the width that you want, go ahead, cut it off, and hot glue that. And I took some clamps to hold it together while it dried. And now I'm just trimming the ends off. And go ahead and fold that right in half and cut it. And now we have two arms. We're going to take two of these little beads, the little wooden beads, and we're going to use them for the little hands. And so I put a little bit of hot glue in there, and I'm pushing that down so the holes in the bead are on the side, not on the top, so you can't see them. And this ribbon, I'm just putting it kind of like a cuff around each arm. And now I'm taking the same ribbon and I'm going to glue it around the top of the gnome's beard because, you know, we don't want to see the green there. And I actually put 2 rolls around it, as you'll see me do in a second. And hey, if you're a subscriber, I appreciate you. You know that I do from the bottom of my heart, and I couldn't be here without you. So thank you, thank you. If you're not a subscriber, welcome to my channel, Home Rich Studio. Stick around. We're going to have some fun. And if you like gnomes, I make gnomes, but I make a ton of other stuff, and I do hauls and I also do a little bit of shopping and thrifting. So we have a whole lot of fun here. So consider subscribing. And hey, if y'all like what you see here, give me a big thumbs up because that really helps my channel grow. So back to the gnome making. I just took a piece of jute that was left over from the carrot that I cut off, and I just put it around the middle because I just didn't think the two pieces of ribbon together looked right. So that kind of just added a little bit more character. And now I'm cutting about I'm cutting two squares, but I think they're about, I want to say 5 inches wide, 5 by 5. Big enough where you can take these little plastic booties and you can like just shove the felt right inside there so it covers the whole thing, and then put a generous amount of glue in there to hold it all together. And it takes a while for that to dry because there's a lot of glue in there. So while that's drying, I'm just taking my antique Waverly wax, and I'm just gonna go ahead with baby wipe and get some on there and just wipe it all over, inside, out, top, bottom, everywhere. With that, I take this burlap and I cut a chunk off, and I just kind of pop it in there. And the sides were finished and I didn't want that look, so I just kind of trim that and rip the rest off. And now I'm putting some Spanish moss in there. I have a couple different colors. I have the green and I also have the Spanish moss. And I just mixed them together. This trim is from the Dollar Tree. I use 2 of them. This carrot one is super cute. I'm going to glue it around the top of this crate. So I'm going to try to get the carrot in between the rope on the side. And I was able to do that. So between the 2 carrots, see how I kind of put that rope up in there. And now I just took a bunch of these carrots and I'm hot gluing them in there. Not like they're growing out of the ground, just kind of like they're shoved in there, kind of like, you know, when they bring them to the grocery store, they're just in a crate. Well, actually, I guess they're in plastic bags now, but, well, organic ones might not be, but anyway, enough about that. So now I'm going to balance the gnome on these shoes, and when it's balanced, so you know it'll stand upright, then go ahead and hot glue that and let it dry really well. I have this chalk pen. I bought a huge container of them. This is a fluorescent orange, and they are called Lottie Dottie. I got them. They were $12.99 from, where did I get them? Home Goods. I don't know if that's a good price or not, but I was there and I saw them and I bought them. So there's a lot of them though. There's 16 different colors. And then I just wrote carrots 5 cents. And I thought his little shoes looked a little boring, so I'm going to put a little pom-pom on each one of them. And this is from that trim pack also. In here I'm just making a little shoelace bow for the top of his hat. And now I'm just going to glue the arms on, and do not worry, you will not see the top. We are going to fix that in a second. And make sure that you glue the seam side toward the body so you don't see the seam. Well, I put a pom-pom on top there too. So back to this little ribbon, I cut 2 little teeny pieces off, and I'm just going to glue it right on top of that, like kind of like his shoulder, and that hides the top of the felt. And there you go. And this is what it looks like. The video. I picked him up from the Dollar Tree plus $3 for that little bunny, and 2 styrofoam pieces or floral foam, and then this plate I bought from Michael's. It was $3.99. I got it for 50% off, so I thought it was beautiful. I love the scalloped edging. Anyway, I painted the back of the bunny because this is going to be a centerpiece. I just peeled off the sticker, painted it white because you'll see both sides. Glued the foam onto the plate, and we're going to be putting the bunny on top of that. And now I have these trees from the Dollar Tree, and I just fluffed them out. One side was flat, and I have 2 of them. One side was flat, and then I just fluffed it out and pulled all the branches up that are going to be on top. And I obviously removed the little white pieces that are at the bottom. Then I wedged them into both sides, one on each side. And now I'm taking this deco mesh, and I have the purple and the pink, and I'm just putting them together, and I'm making 4 big loops, 8 or 10 inches, I don't remember. And so it's a big fluffy piece of deco mesh. And now I'm taking a zip tie and tying it off in the middle, and then I'm going to clip this in half, not down to the end, because I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in the floral foam. But it doesn't stick really well, so I had to hot glue it in. So if you do make this piece or you use this little tip, trick, hack, you'll have to glue it. But it's a nice way to get it to kind of stick in there, you know, as opposed to trying to wire it onto something, or, you know. Anyway, you guys know what I mean. So I did the same thing with the deco mesh for the other side. And you can see how it's not really sticking in there. I had to like glue it and then hold it, and then it's in there. I have this foliage, that's what they call it, from the Dollar Tree, and I pointed to that little stem there because I clipped all the little sticks or leaves, all the little pieces off, and saved that piece at the end because I'm going to show you how we're going to use it. I wanted to add just a little bit of spring greenery to this little centerpiece. It's actually not a little centerpiece, it's a big centerpiece. And so I just threw some in on both sides, 3 or 4 stems on both sides. These are lilacs, they're also from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just clipping the ends off there too, so I can pop them into that foam. I did not glue the bunny down. I'm just, I have it sitting up there so I know where to put the flowers. And I have these beautiful purple roses, and those are from the Dollar Tree. Love those. And then a pop of white with the lilacs from the Dollar Tree. I just popped a bunch of different colors in there that you can see in the bunny. There was some yellow, pinks, whites, purples. Tried to stick with the same color in this ribbon too, the same thing. I want to say this is about 12, not 12, maybe 8 inches long. And I dovetailed both ends, folded in half, I twisted it, and then I took some floral wire and just twisted it around to hold those together. And I'm just putting like a little ribbon here, just a dovetailed ribbon here and there. So I don't know if I did 2. Yeah, I think I just did 2 kind of in the front. Now I'm going to make a small bow. I wish I would have made it bigger, but I didn't have a whole lot of this ribbon left. Easy peasy, just glue it together, make a big circle. And then I took another piece and I cut that slightly smaller. Same thing, just glued it right together. I feel like I'm cheating this way, but that's okay. I'm not the best bow maker. I'm okay, but I'm not great. And so now I am just going to put that crease in the middle on the back and put the one bow on top of the other. And then I'm trying to do this with one hand and my ribbon fell off the counter, and yeah. So anyway, I made tails. I just cut off a big piece of ribbon, and now I'm just going to zip tie it all together. And I'm going to take that zip tie, twist it a bunch, cut it off, and then I'm just going to pop it in there. And I believe I glued that down. I wanted to put it in the floral foam, but it wouldn't fit, or it just kept bending because, you know, twist ties are wobbly. And I did dovetail those ends also. Now I'm showing you here, you can put a candle in there if you don't want the bunny. It's totally up to you. And I have these eggs from the Dollar Tree. I just pulled the colors out that match the bunny, and see how I'm making my very own pick for these eggs. So I can just put that in the foam and it'll stick. So I cut these down really small, put a bunch of hot glue on that. Can't even see them. And see, I stuck that right to the egg there. And I'm just going to pop that in there. And there you have it, a quick and easy, mostly Dollar Tree centerpiece. And they have chargers at the Dollar Tree too, so you don't have to buy a scalloped edge, because can you see it? No, I can't see it either. So all Dollar Tree, and I think it turned out gorgeous. What do you think? Now this is a napkin, and I got it a couple years ago, I think. I love the bunny on it, and I am just trimming it, and then I'm gonna rip it because I want like that ripped jagged edge look. So again, I clean this plate really well, and then I put some Mod Podge on it just where I'm going to put that napkin. And I believe the napkin was a 3-ply, so I tore off all of those pieces, and later on in this video I'll show you how I did it. Some people rip the edge and you can peel them apart, some people put tape on it, but later on in this video I do it again and I'll show you. So I Mod Podged that bunny on there, and then I let it dry really, really well. And now I have purple tissue paper, and this tissue paper I got from Hobby Lobby. I was just trying different techniques with this, seeing what was going to work and what wasn't going to work. And so now I'm Mod Podging all around again, just the bottom center of the plate. And I go over the napkin again, the bunny napkin, and then I put the tissue paper right on top of it very carefully, just tapping it, pressing it down, and then clipping off the excess. And now, don't ask me, but I thought I was going to make this really easy by, you know, it's dry now. And I took the sandpaper at it and I scraped it a little bit. Not too bad. I just pointed at that, just a little area. You really won't be able to see that. But just watch and see what I do after this. So I did the parchment paper on top of the tissue paper, and had my little heat press, and it reactivates the glue. So I did that real quick, and I'll be doing this a lot in this video, so I'm kind of glossing by it. Then I thought, oh, this would be really pretty to have a gold rim around here. Now, this is not a rub and buff thing. I don't know why I use rub and buff. Like I said, I'm just kind of, you know, I think it would be pretty, but yeah, there's my boo-boo. This was a thrifted piece, and it was pretty beat up. I got it for $2, and I painted it in white chalk paint. And now I have these napkins too. Remove the plies. And now what I'm doing, because I want that ripped effect, is I'm just taking a little bit of water and running it around the edge. If you've never done this before, be careful that you don't get too close to the design, the words, or the picture. Just touch the end, because as you know, water will spread and it will get the napkin wet. So, and this is a good way to, you know, tear off the edges around here. So I just took this and very, very carefully Mod Podged it onto this little, what do you call it? Watering can. And now I'm taking some saran wrap or plastic wrap, and I'm just pressing it down. So with Mod Podge is what I'm learning, because I do use Mod Podge a lot, but also I'm just going to give this channel a plug. She's so amazing with her techniques and Mod Podge, Decoupage, all kinds of stuff. Her name is Brandy, and her channel is the DIY Struggle. Go check her out. I learn a lot of my stuff from her. She is amazing. And I don't know her, so I'm not, you know, not plugging her for anything. I just think she is thebomb.com. And Whimsical too. That's another great channel for this kind of technique. So you just go really, really slow with this Mod Podge so your napkin doesn't tear, and it turns out beautifully with, especially with the saran wrap or the plastic wrap. No wrinkles on this piece. And now I'm just going around the teared edges. I'm going to make this look like kind of like a little antique flowering can, or water can. I don't know. I can't talk today for some reason. So I went around the edges with the antique Waverly wax. And then now I'm just going to distress across the whole entire napkin. I got a little bit too much on there, and I took a wet baby wipe and very, very gently dabbed it around the can. And now I'm going to take this same antique Waverly wax and brush it around all of the areas of the watering can. Around the rim, around the handle, and wherever, like where the handle connects to the water can, you're going to want to do a little bit more distress there where two pieces meet. You'll see what I mean in a minute, because there would be more wear there. So where the handle meets, I'm putting more distress, and also where the spout meets, there's more distress. I hope that makes sense. And then I'm very, very lightly going to distress that. And if you do this, what I just did, wipe it off really, really fast. It'll give it a nice color. It'll blend in really well, but don't let it sit for more than 2 seconds, literally, because then you'll see the lines in there. So I shoved a bunch of paper, packing paper, and in there, and you know, so I didn't have to put so much moss in there. And then took some moss and put it on top, gave it a little haircut. And I have a bunch of carrots from the Dollar Tree, and these are the little tree carrots, and I'm just taking that little round end off of them. They just twist right off, and I'm just going to glue them, I believe 3 of them, right into the watering can. And then wherever you see more paper, just go ahead and pop it in there. And this is an egg wreath. I have this egg form from the Dollar Tree, and I have this really pretty ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and it is wired. And I'm just going to wrap this around the egg. So I'm going to start off and glue it on the front, but I'm going to make sure it has a little piece that you see folded over there that I can glue it onto the wire in the back. And I have this video kind of fast, but I took this really, really slow, so there are no creases or wrinkles in it. It laid very flat on this wreath form. And then of course I want to end this in the back, so I will just wrap it around one extra time just to make sure that where I cut the ribbon is in the back of the frame. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in these purple lilies from the Dollar Tree, and I think I have 3 sets of them. I'm trimming them long because I am going to zip tie them together on the bottom of the egg. And this is kind of hard to do, to keep all these together. They kept twisting in my hand, but it took a little while, a little patience, but I got it done. And so what I did here with the zip tie is I didn't tie it super tight, so I could actually add some stems in there, because as you can see, they kept turning on me. And I wanted to get as many stems in the zip tie as possible too. If you don't pull it tight until you're ready to, you can turn them around, turn them and twist them in there too. So these extra stems I cut shorter, and I'm kind of just putting some glue on them. Actually, I'm poking them in there to see how I like it. And then I just placed a couple more up on the side because I thought it was too bunchy at the bottom. And now I'm going to put some other picks. This is just called greenery, and it's from the Dollar Tree, but they're purple and green. It almost looks like what do you call it, lamb's ear on the end of these. So I kind of pulled a little bit of those off, and then I'm kind of just scattering them everywhere. So you have the big lily flowers, and then you have these thin tall ones, and the purples match, and then you have this fuzzy green leaf, which is just so pretty together. And I'm just poking a couple here and there. I still thought it was missing something, so I have these other purple flowers. They were on sale, but the regular price was $3.99. I got them at Michael's. I don't know what they're called, but I just they're kind of little short and bushy, little teeny purple flowers, and I just picked off a bunch of them, and I'm just kind of placing them here and there wherever I see a hole. And now I was going to put Easter eggs on here, but I thought that it would just be too big, too much, and I had a bunch of these stems from the Dollar Tree. I got them last year and I've never used them, so I decided this is perfect. So I'm kind of matching the ribbon. There's like pink and blue and white and purple on the ribbon and yellow. I didn't want to use all those colors, but I thought the purple, the white, and the blue looked really pretty together. And now I have some more purple. I have this mesh from the Dollar Tree, and I am just going to take it and loop it over on itself. So there's 2 puffs on each side. It's just kind of like a figure eight. And I'm sorry it's a little out of screen, but it was kind of hard to work with. As you know, the mesh sticks together. So there's no tails or anything. I just made 2 loops on both sides. And then I have this pink mesh, and I'm doing the same thing. Just 2 loops on each side, and then I do have tails though. And then I have a, not a zip tie, a pipe cleaner or chenille stick. And I'm just tying that, and I'm going to tie it right onto the top of the egg. And we are done, and this is a close-up of what it looks like. I really like this piece a lot. I just thought it was kind of a little bit different, a little bit unique, and it was so easy to make, and all of this stuff is from the Dollar Tree except those little purple flowers. But I'm sure you can find small purple flowers at the Dollar Tree. That's just what I had on hand. And here's a better picture of it on my wall. And I have this bunny frame from the Dollar Tree and the car cloth from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut a square. Make sure that this is a little bit bigger than the circle part of the bunny, because we're going to glue it on the front. Actually, we're going to put it on the front, but we're going to glue it on the back. I'm pulling the 4 corners in and just gluing it down. And then after I do that, then I pull the sides in and glue them. So you want to make sure there's probably a 1/2 inch maybe. And then you can always cut off the excess. I didn't, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see it. Now that we have the cloth on the front of the bunny, but we glued it on the back, now I'm going to do the same thing to the ears. And the reason that I'm doing this to the ears is because I'm going to put flowers on them, and they had to stick to something. So I already had this cloth, and I thought I'll just put this on there instead of trying to glue it onto metal, because you know the glue doesn't really stick to the metal real well. I mean, it does to a certain extent, but it's easier to pull off, and that's why I kind of wrap the material around onto itself too. And so I'm just kind of doing the same thing, just wrapping the material around and gluing it as I go on. And I did it to both of the ears. And now that's what it looks like. And you could do many, many different things, but this is my version of making a little bunny. I'm just taking these flowers, sorry, I don't know what they're called, they're like a peach color, and I clipped them off. Oh, they're from the Dollar Tree too. And I clipped them off and just outlined both of the ears with them. And by the way, when you cut these, they're very messy. Even if you don't cut them, they're just messy. They're messy flowers. And so is the car cloth when you cut it, just so you know. Little fuzzes everywhere. Okay, so now that I glued these around the ears, and I thought this was really cute, I tried not to hide them with the flowers, but I had a ton of these peach color roses in my stash, and I had a ton of peach color everything. So I decided this was a color I was going to use. You could use smaller flowers, and that would be really pretty too. But I just put, I don't remember how many I had, probably 6 maybe. No, not 6, probably 4 bunches. And then some of the leaves that kind of hid that little outline flower there, I kind of clipped those off so you could see it better. So I did that to both ears, and now I'm going to paint the feet. And I always tell you guys, always do your painting first, so when you're doing everything else, the paint's drying, but I didn't listen to myself. So now I'm painting. I put the little spackling in the hole of the bunny's feet, and these are from the Dollar Tree too, the feet. And I'm taking this white chalk paint, and I painted just the front and the sides of the bunny's feet, the whole entire thing. And that rose gold is $3 from the Dollar Tree Plus, and it's beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous, but I had to put about 3 coats on because it's really thin. And that is a rose gold metallic from the Dollar Tree Plus. Now I have that big fur ball for his butt, and I'm gluing the 2 feet on there. And I still felt like it needed something more, and my husband said, why don't you put like a little bunny crack in there? I was like, I can't do that. Just couldn't do that. But we laughed about it. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to wrap some jute around the top so it kind of looks like it's got a collar on and that it's the back of the bunny. And I just really like this too. I love the peach color. I think it's just so pretty. And this rose gold paint is really gorgeous. If you have a chance to pick some up, it's really, really nice. And I took it all apart, and I didn't realize, but this was a card. Somebody had put a card in there with this saying, and it's, whoever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, think about such things. And that is Philippians 4:8. So I kept that because I really like that verse. Anyway, I didn't want that in there though. So I painted the frame in this chalk paint called Moss. And then I took this frame that's inside the frame, and I painted that with, I think it's white. Looks like it's plaster. Yeah, it's plaster, chalk paint. And then I did it with a brush, and you can see the brush strokes. So then I took the little dabber here and just dabbed it. And then I have this scrapbook paper from another project. It's green, and it's kind of off-white. It's just a very nice design. I got this from Hobby Lobby, probably like last year or something. But I thought it fit perfect, or it went perfect with the green color of the frame, and I am going to crackle that frame. So now I'm just going to take this mounting tape, permanent mounting tape, super glue, and this is from the Dollar Tree. It's double-sided. And it says indoor and outdoor moisture resistant. Okay, but I'm not going to put this outside, obviously. Okay, so I'm putting some crackle on this frame because, you know, I love crackle. I love birds, I love crackle, and I love to paint. Anyway, now I'm taking my blow dryer. I'm going to dry it because before you put crackle on, it has to be completely dry. So the paint, the bottom coat has to be dry, and then the crackle has to be dry, and then, you know, obviously then put on the top coat, and it starts cracking immediately, so don't go over the paint, just let it be. And so now I am going to take these wood pieces are from, they're laser cut wood pieces from the Dollar Tree. They have a ton of different kinds. They have leaves and roses and this cross, and I thought this cross was so perfect for the inside of this. And if I didn't say it, I did clean this frame really, really well, as all of my thrifted pieces. And so that basket that I just put it in is what I'm going to make now. And it's pretty stained, and it's pretty dirty, and it looks like it's pretty old. So I'm just pulling off all of this ribbon, cleaned it up really well, and now I'm just going to paint the entire piece. I did not paint the bottom because it's not going anywhere. It's going to be in my house, but I painted the whole inside and the sides and the top. You could put ribbon around it if you want. I'm just showing you an option, but I also use this so I could get a feel for how long I want my leather piece. Now I got these from Hobby Lobby. It's faux leather, $4.99. Faux braided leather, faux braided leather. And those plastic buttons are from the Dollar Tree, the silver ones. Anyway, the Hobby Lobby $4.99, I got it 40% off, and I got those like last year too, and I haven't used them at all. I don't know why. I buy things, I don't use them for a year. I don't know. Do you guys do that? Anyway, I am taking this ribbon just because it's flexible and it's the same width that I wanted on this tray because I'm going to make handles. And so I'm just using that for like my measuring tool. And then I'm cutting 2 pieces of this braided leather off for the handle. And now I'm just going to glue it right on the bottom there. And I'm using hot glue. I guess I probably should have used something stronger, but I did not. But, you know, obviously these handles, you're not going to really be lifting the tray up by these handles because it will break really no matter really what you put on it. It's just really meant for decoration. And so now I'm gluing it up on the side, and then I'm putting these little plastic beads from the Dollar Tree on there. And then I thought, you know, I think 2 of them next to each other would look kind of cute. So I'm gluing that leather down a little bit more. And then just sticking another little bead on there, or button, or whatever these things are. I have a huge bag full of them, and I just never use them. But I thought this was perfect time. And so now, because I have the handle on one side, I'm just using a ruler and putting a little dot on the other side so I get it even with each other. And now I thought the silver was a little bit too shiny, a little bit too plasticky looking, so I took this, it's just a light gray. This is acrylic apple barrel called Granite Gray. You could use anything to do this. I just wanted to kind of mute them a little bit, not so they're just not so bright and shiny and in your face. And so I just kind of dabbed a little teeny bit on there on each one of these. And that's how it looks. And I bought these napkins. One was $2.99, one was $3.99. From, I believe it was Home Goods, but I get my napkins from Home Goods and Marshalls and TJ Maxx because they have great prices, and I love napkins too. I have a lot of different kinds of napkins, and I do like to decoupage and do all kinds of projects with napkins, and I have some stuff coming up, so some more spring stuff after this video. And so I took the plaster chalk paint and I just gave it 1 coat on each of these. So while I'm waiting, I am giving a coat of the plaster, or the Mod Podge, I'm sorry, onto each coaster. And these I got from the Dollar Tree. They're pre-cut parchment paper. So I thought those were kind of cool, and I wanted to show you those because I do use them in this project, and they're the perfect size. And so these napkins are 3-ply, and so you take a piece of tape and you can pull the ply off. So I pulled both of them off, and just kind of be kind of careful with it because I did rip one of my napkins. And now I cut out a square and I kind of placed it how I wanted the coaster to look. And I took my brand new shiny heat gun, not heat gun, heat iron, and I'm so excited. This was so easy, and I didn't get one before, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I'm going to use this, but yeah, I think I'm going to use it all the time now. So this came out so beautiful, and it works so well. There's no wrinkles, and I'm just going over with a coat of Mod Podge on the top because I'm going to use these coasters as coasters. And so I did the same thing to all of these. I just have two different kinds of napkins that coordinate. And then if you have any wrinkles after that Mod Podge dries, then you can go ahead and do the little iron thing again. Or it's a heat press. That's what it's called. And now I have this little finger sander that I got from Amazon. And I'm just going downward. If you go upward, you might pull the paper off. I just went downward, and this is what these look like. And you guys, they're just gorgeous. I love, love, love these. Here's the first one. I made this one for my daughter. She wanted a chocolate bunny candy wreath. And this is what I came up with for her. I have this little bunny. I bought it from the Dollar Tree, and they only had one left. I was hoping they would have more because they're so cute, and I know I can do a lot with them, but I was lucky to have one. We're going to turn him into a chocolate bunny. So I remove the tags, and I have this Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle, and it resembles chocolate to me. And so now I have this dabber sponge, and I'm just going to dab it all over this bunny. And I did have to let this dry overnight because it was pretty saturated. But you have to get into all the little fuzzies of the bunny there. And that's how he turned out. Now I have this wreath form. I believe I got it on clearance. I don't remember where, probably like Michael's or Joann's. I have this deco mesh from the Dollar Tree, the pink, the purple, and this beautiful yellow, purple, and pink color. I just love this, and I knew it just kind of reminded me of candy and Easter time, so I knew I had to use that. I didn't have any yellow, but I thought the pink and the purple and then one of these in the middle, scrunched up all together, would be perfect. So these are about 8 inches long, I believe, and so I cut the pink and the purple about 8 inches, and then this one is going to go in the center, and that one is a little bit longer, like 10 inches. So I believe I made 4 of those, and then I'm just going to zip tie it right onto the wreath form. I didn't even tie it or anything. I just zip tied it right on the form because we're going to cover that up anyway. And so you just take one side and scrunch it up, and the other side and scrunch it up, and you do that with all 3 pieces, and then you put them together, and I put one across from each other. And that's what that looks like. I'm trying to figure out, do I want my bunny straight or sideways? I think sideways. Now I have these eggs and the vase filler from the Dollar Tree, and I'm taking out the same colors that I have in the ribbon. So it's purple, yellow, and pink. And so I'm going to glue an egg on right over that zip tie so you really can't see it. And then when you fluff the ribbon up, or the deco mesh up, you can't see it at all. So I pulled the bow off, and then I'm just gluing the eggs around. So I used 2 yellow on the diagonal, and then just 1 pink and 1 purple. I didn't want this whole wreath form to be full of deco mesh. I really wanted to kind of show the brown in there too. And now I'm taking the bows and I'm putting them right back on the egg, but instead of on top, I'm putting them right in the middle. And this vase filler is from the Dollar Tree, and I think it's in the party section. And then I have these plastic bags. They're also from the Dollar Tree, the clear ones. And I just cut them up into like a little square that was twice the size of these little vase filler balls. And I took the same colors that match the eggs and the ribbon, or the deco mesh. So the yellow, the pink, and the purple. And I took the very large ones. And I just wrapped that cellophane around them, and then I just tied it off. And I wanted to make a bow, but it was just too little. And I have coordinating ribbon there too, that I actually got that from Hobby Lobby. So I made a whole bunch of them, and I'm going to put them in threes all the way around the wreath in between the deco mesh. And I actually put 6 of them down where I'm gluing them right now. There's 6, so 2 of each color, because that's where I'm going to place the bunny too. And if you notice where I place the deco mesh bows, they're kind of on a diagonal. They're not straight across from each other, because there's a bow that's going to go on top, and that is the ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and it matches perfectly. And I just wrapped it around itself 3 or 4 times. Let's see, 4, maybe 5 times. And then I undid it because I thought it was too small, so I made it a little bit bigger. Did the same thing, just wrapping it around. So I wanted it to be the length of the wreath form on top that's not covered. And then I just took it and tied it in the middle. Oh, I put a couple little notches in it. I don't usually like to do the notches because for some reason I just cut them too much into the... I don't know. I just don't like what it looks like. I know that you can hide it, but for me it just never works. So sometimes I just tie it really, really tight. So I have this jute here, and I have a big long piece of jute, and I'm tying that. And now I'm making tails. I just took a big piece of ribbon and I dovetailed it on both ends. And now I'm just going to tie it with that big piece of jute that's still hanging off the bow. And it's nice because this is wired ribbon too, so you can kind of, it's, you know, you can kind of play with it a little bit. And I'm just fluffing out the bow a little bit here. And now I'm just going to tie it to the top of the wreath. And now I have some more of these little candy pieces, and I'm just going to glue a bunch of them in the middle. And now, I didn't show you this. Okay, well, first I'm gluing this bunny on there, but I tied that yellow ribbon around its neck because I wanted it to look like, you know, those chocolate bunnies that you see at the store. That's what I was trying to mimic. So I took that puffy paint from the Dollar Tree, or that fabric paint, and I made 2 little eyes, and that I thought it looked possessed. Every time I looked at it, I'm like, oh, this is creepy. So I removed the paint, and I found just one little teeny like gold gem in my stash, and I just glued it on, and so it only has one eye and you can only see it from the side, and I think it looks much better this way. And this is how it turned out, and I love it. I gave it to my daughter reluctantly. I'm like, I want this wreath, but she likes it a lot, so I love it when people challenge me. I bought these 3 pieces. They're ceramic, and I think they were like $1 for all 3 of them, and I thought I could do something with them. And so I'm going to keep those little pads on the bottom, but I'm going to remove the sticker that's on all three of them. And after I scrubbed them and scrubbed them and scrubbed them, there was a lot of glue on them. I finally got them clean. And now I'm going to put Mod Podge all over them again. And I just put a thin coat, and I have these napkins from Home Goods. And they were $5.99 for this pack, but there was a lot of them. It said 3-ply, and I couldn't get the pieces apart, not at all. So I just put the whole thing on there. And because these look like little seed bags, it doesn't really matter if there's wrinkles in them. So I clipped out the napkin and I Mod Podged it right onto the seed packet. I'll just call these seed packets. I don't really know what you call them. The second group of napkins I bought last year. I made a little project with this. I love this bunny. She's so sweet, and there's like a little butterfly that's going to land on her nose, and she's just looking up. I just love them. So the other box, I just did the same thing as the checked one. And then the third one, I put the carrot napkin on. And so now after it's dry, go ahead and take the sander and just sand them in a quick stroke going down. You don't want to push up because it'll pull the napkin off possibly. So this I'm just pushing down. And it took a second because there were all those little grooves in there on the top, you know, but there was something kind of, I don't know, fun about doing that. It just looked so put together when I was done. Okay, so then I put Mod Podge on the top of that after I was all done sanding. And now I'm just going to distress each of these a little bit, just with a little bit of black paint. This is just chalk paint. You can use any kind of paint. On the side. And now I have some floral foam, and I'm just going to cut it down to size and pop one into all three of these containers. And some Spanish moss. I use this a lot. Almost everything I do, I put Spanish moss in. And I'm just stuffing that down in the side and trying to leave a little bit of a hole in the middle so we can put our picks in there. Those are the little carrots from the Dollar Tree. I'm just kind of poking them down in the side there. And this is called foliage from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to clip some off, and I'm going to poke them in the container that has the carrots in there. They kind of looked a little like a carrot top to me, so that's why I used them. And now with the bunny, oh no, sorry, I'm going to take this wood bunny and I'm going to put it in the middle of the carrots. And the wood bunnies from the Dollar Tree too. Now with the bunny, I'm going to put these picks in there. I think this is eucalyptus. And I tried to poke them down, but they wouldn't fit, so I put my scissors in there, and I thought, no, if I take the end of the pick, that's the best way to do it, and poke it in the foam, then they will stick. And then instead of putting the hot glue on the end of the pick, I put the hot glue in the hole that I poked in the foam, and that's what made them adhere. And I have this little styrofoam egg, and I just pop that in there. And now this last one, I just had these green picks in my stash, and I'm just going to put them in there. And now I'm going to take some jute twine and wrap it around 3 or 4 times on each one of these containers and just tie it right in the middle. And those two little chicks in front are from Target Dollar Spot. And that's it. Thank you for watching Homeridge Studio. And I hope that you've enjoyed this compilation video of my favorite spring and Easter DIYs. And you know I will be back real soon. And until then, you have a blessed week. Bye.